Welcome to the Titan Talk of February 12th. I know I'm a little bit late, but let's get right into it. They spent most of the first few minutes going over bug fixes as well as stating Duel will be re-enabled early this afternoon if possible, so it probably already is. One thing they did go over in the early Titan Talk is the Open Beta 3 quick hotfix balance patch they did. Amaterasu, Nuwa, Hunbat, and Sol were all overperforming. For Amaterasu, they nerfed her aspect a little bit by decreasing the bonus movement speed and basic attack power on her 1, as well as reverting the changes to the Heavenly Reflection, which is her 2. Nuwa, they increased her Fog cooldown by 2 seconds, they increased her 3 cooldown by 1 second, and they drastically lowered the pen of her Clay Soldiers, just bringing her down some. Unbat's Aspect of Disruption finally is getting a hit to the overhand smash cooldown. It is 4 seconds increased when the aspect is selected, as well as they lowered his bonus damage was passive. Doesn't matter, he still one-shots you, but, at least he's not stunning you every 4 seconds with his abilities. Sol gets increased strength gain from her passive from 10% to 15%, and her passive intelligence on her aspect is going to be losing 5%. They also fixed an issue where her passive was multiplying with Rod of Tahuti, so you get a little bit less intelligence with that interaction. Anyways, some of the damage being attributed to Soul Reaver right now is occasionally being caused by Soul Reaver reading the damage from abilities and not the actual item, but they're aware that Soul Reaver is very strong right now and they're taking a look at it. Pon is taking lead on the balance right now. Be sure to follow his Twitter. Apparently, he tweets to see what the general sentiment of the player base is on balance. Somebody asked about the update for text chat on consoles. It's in progress, but it was in live as a very work in progress version, but it is in the works. It's difficult for them because text chat is considered user-generated content on consoles, and there's very, very many restrictions for them. They have to go through a full certification pass with each console provider, which each takes a week for the first pass, and then if they don't pass the first time, they have to fix the issues they flagged and go through another full pass. While they're in a full certification pass, they cannot push any updates outside of just server-side hotfixes, so the console certification is really restricting some things they can push. Though these console certifications are also slowing down and stopping the God Builder from coming out right away, in the Deadlock style, allowing you to fully customize guides and builds inside the game, but because of the certification requirements, this is also user-generated content. The consoles are blocking that progress and require another full certification pass. They plan to do the full certification for both console and God Builder, console chat and God Builder at the same time, so they said it will probably be about a month for both console chat and God Builder. Another God roadmap, somebody asked? They're not going to be doing one until around when Bari comes out. They'll be on schedule at least until Bari, and after Bari, they're still trying to figure out what they can do with their new team size. They're afraid of missing promises, and their priorities are very fluid right now, as they're prioritizing the biggest issues every 2 weeks. Still going to use the metaphor that they're like a bus stop. They're trying to fit as much as they can where the bus leaves every 2 weeks in that patch. Accolades and in-game stats on the profile. Nothing to say about it right now. They're currently tracking stuff like pentakills, your minion kills, all that stuff. They just don't have the UI to show it off. HUD editor is on the way. People keep asking about it like every Titan Talk. Are we aware of how awful tanks feel right now? They are aware of that feedback, and they're currently working through fixes trying to figure out how they can make it a full tank playstyle feel better. They want to reward you more for building tanky. Future of the Smite Game channel. They still have the stream team and the Monday, Wednesday, and Friday Titan Talks at 1 p.m. EST, and esports will still be showcased at one point once Hinduman is ready. Would it be more interesting for you guys to ship a skin every week rather than a pack of skins every patch? Skins tend to not sell as well when released in the middle of a patch, so it's better to ship skins with the big patch. Is an all-new Conquest map still on the table? They're still trying to figure that out. Environment art is going to be the most challenging piece to figure out. They still have level designers improving the game all the time, but they don't have the same level of environment art team as they had before. Now they just have a general 3D modeling team right now. They're still trying to figure it out. They don't know it's not the best response, but it's what they got. Were there any plans for a Smite movie/series? There's been a million versions of that over the years, with a bunch of people who wanted to make it happen, but it has always fallen short into some sort of development hell. They did put out an anime-style video at one point that was sort of a mood piece of a Smite anime that would have been like 10 years ago, but he can't comment on anything that's ongoing right now, but it's not something that is imminently happening, and people have talked about it a lot over the years, apparently. Somebody asked about the Savage Plus settings for controllers on PC, and they're working on it. Is there a plan to add a VGS for Attack the Pyro? No, they'd have to re-record every voice line for every single character. It would be very expensive. No new VGS will likely ever be added. Pantheon-specific music. Is there any of that coming? Kilgoon has no idea about it. At least he hasn't talked about it with anybody, but Kilgoon did hint that more music is on its way, though. Did they consider giving a third consumable slot for the jungle consumables if your slot is full? They think it's an issue that does need to be solved, but that right now it works, and you don't need to make some decisions that you want. You need to make some decisions that you want, what you want in your inventory. There's been some pitches, but nothing concrete. Ranked Duel. Duel is basically ranked in everything but in name. They don't have the UI element for Ranked Duel, but it's something that they can look at in the future. Tracker has a dual leaderboard on their website, though. God leaderboards in general. They're working on it. Another thing that needs to be fixed in the near future. Why aren't the global emotes a loadout thing? Hilgen said they'd consider moving it, but they plan to have multiple global emote VGS commands equipable, like VXG 1 through 4. They can't do an emote wheel because of console. Do we plan on having a Founders Edition sale/discount? Almost certainly. Normally based around platform level scales like summer Steam sales, etc., diamonds tend to go on sale randomly, but no diamond sale anytime soon because there isn't a big content drop and there's not a lot to buy right now. They'll be planning around big content drops in the far future. NA West/Central servers. They'd rather keep the player base together, but they want to try and figure out the best location for their servers to make one best server for all players in the region. Skin shop soon. They're going to be adding a simple single-page featured tab for the new skins that they want to show off. Please add a separate keybind for interact or jumping. They don't have it made right now, but they're aware that players want this and will be adding it later. How are they feeling about aspects? Since aspects are entirely new, some of them feel really good, some of them feel really bad, and some of them feel like interesting alternatives. The goal is to make it so that they are all interesting alternatives. They're aiming to make the aspects an alternate mode for gods, and they like the system as a whole, even though some of them are more successful than others. Wandering Market EXP boosted right now? The way this works is that you will gain coins at an increased rate until something around level 50 on the Wandering Market Pass. As they were trying to balance the market, it was very difficult, as some players play the game 20 hours in a month, and some players play the game around like 400 hours in a month. They won't be resetting currency in between Wandering Markets, so the idea was that at the beginning of each Wandering Market, you get coins very quickly, so that even if you're a casual player, you can get all the stuff you want. And if you're a turbo grinder, you will still be able to build up a lot of coins, but so that you're not gaining a jillion coins in between Wanderers Markets. They didn't want to let us buy market coins because they were concerned that they were concerned that people would think that they are being money grubby, which is super funny because that's the insult a lot of people use when targeting Smite 2 negatively. They didn't want people to have the sentiment that the system was designed to make people pay for coins if they wanted to unlock stuff. But yes, you'll be able to buy wandering markets in the future if that's what you want. Does the reporting system work? The reporting system does work. They do take action and they get reports. They do not have the message that tells you that they actioned a player you reported though, but keep reporting. Somebody other than Inbound this time asked for an Alani check, Orange Kiss for Isaiah, and Cherry Twist for Kilgun. Very important information. Somebody asked about ranked incentives, like increased wandering market coins or worshippers for playing ranked. Yes, they can look into that. The only negative to that kind of approach would be making ranked the only way to play the game, so that having benefits is a good idea, but they need to be small so you don't feel bad for not playing ranked. Why don't you release gods with at least one skin? In order to do that, they'd have to hold the gods that are done to give themselves time to make skins for the god that is already done. It would make them hold back content, which is something they don't want to do. If they want to change anything on the base god, they'd have to change something on the skin, and it just exponentially increases the time to make both of them. Is there a future where Smite 2 gets renamed to Smite? They don't think they would do that. They've had a long discussion about what to call Smite 2, but they felt like Smite 2 was important so that even if you were a casual who didn't really follow Smite, they would understand that Smite 2 was the sequel. 120 FPS on console. They're trying to figure it out. They can't run the game thread at 120 FPS right now, and they need to do further optimizations. It's very difficult, but it's an ongoing optimization issue. Consoles have stronger graphics processing, but worse, like everything else processing, basically. Crashing on console. Please remember to select your share when the console game crashes. Share the information with the developers, as it's very important for them to be able to fix the crashes. Any plans on cinematic videos? No plans right now. Kilgun said cinematics have been less useful player metric-wise, incredibly expensive, and don't impact the game's numbers much. The big Bologna Fire Giant cinematic costs around $1 million to make. Rectangle bracket targeting. They're planning to bring back rectangle bracket targeting rather than just give the red glow around the target that you're going to hit, but it still needs to be made. Thoughts on slowing down God releases to prioritize other things. They want to build a base, and they need to do everything that they can to have people stop saying, why would I go from Smite 1 to Smite 2? Many have, but some still haven't. Every time someone talks about it, constantly, there's always some handful of detractors who say, don't play Smite 2, Smite 1 has more gods, and so on. They're trying to add a lot of content quickly and in a good state. Could we get a relic tab in the store? If you click on the star tab, apparently you can buy relics from a row there, and most people leave the new game opening flow where you can decide if you want to auto build or manual build and then select a relic. But they do think that they need to work on recommended builds, relic options, and so on, but they do think the God Helper will help a lot with that. A lot of people were asking about the Odyssey, but they have no plans for it at the moment. And that's everything. Really quick, Titan Talk too long didn't watch. Again, Sorry about being a little late on this one. Every single Titan Talk Too Long Didn't Watch will be launching the day the Titan Talk comes out, unless I have some prior engagement that day, but it will be happening every single day on the day that they release, probably about 1 or 2 hours after the Titan Talks is finished. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good one, and take care.